What's up, everyone? Welcome to day 5 of my brand new small account challenge of trading in a $2,000 account using Charles Schwab as my broker. You'll notice that the background and scenery looks a little bit different this week. That's because I'm traveling. Now, you might think I'm time traveling back to the 1970s with these curtains, but that's not the case. I am still in present day, and I'm on my traveling trading station. I've got my laptop, I've got my USB monitor right here, super skinny, and I've got my Starlink. All the things we've come to expect in 2026. And this morning, I locked up another green day. Biggest green day so far in the challenge. This is not a surprise, again, because I'm trading with more capital each day as I grow the account. So the goal of this small account challenge, as you guys know, is to demonstrate what it looks like for a seasoned trader like myself to trade under the constraints of a small account, which means I'm going to be focusing on quality over quantity, trading the best setups because I can't afford risk, and all of the profit from these challenges gets donated to charity. As you guys know, every time you hit the thumbs up in the episodes in this series, I'm adding an extra dollar to how much I'm donating. We've already raised over $313,000. I've already donated $319,000, which means I'm a little bit ahead on you guys. So I hope you all hit the thumbs up on today's episode. Now let's go ahead and dive right in. Day 5 context. Big picture. Yesterday, we had a stock that squeezed up after the opening bell over 1,000% from a low of under $2 all the way up to about $16, $17 a share. That's a very impressive move. We love to see that. So clearly we're still in a hot and very volatile market. There's attention on Chinese stocks, foreign listed securities, including Singapore, Malaysia, and Israel. We're also seeing some momentum in space, AI, data center names. So the theme right now is generally it feels like if a stock is a leading gainer in the market, it gets a lot of attention very quickly. But traders are also fickle. They're jumping from stock to stock. So when one stock starts to look a little weak, if another one pops up, boom, that other stock is old yesterday's news, and now traders are jumping on the new one. And so it feels like a little bit of musical chairs, and that can be a little bit tricky because you left feeling like your head is spinning. We're going from stock to stock to stock to stock. So for me, it makes me feel that it's important to jump in pretty quickly when something starts to pop up so I can capitalize on that very first part of the move. Because if I wait until it's already made a big move, I'm concerned that my risk to reward isn't as good. I'm getting in too high. And if it fails, that it's got a lot farther to drop. So this morning, we had a stock that, well, first of all, part of the context is big picture. Right now, we have a stock, which is our leading gainer. It's SUGP. When I grabbed this screenshot, it was up 57%. As of right now, it's actually up 140%. So this one's continued to gain more and more attention, which has been good. It's a little bit cheap for my liking. But that can be arguably good for the small account because, of course, you could buy more shares. But in any case, SUGP was the stock that was squeezing up this morning. And again, Chinese stock. Now, it actually did have, technically it had a headline at 8 a.m. But I think that one of the arguments here is that these moves, even on the stocks that do have headlines, are far in excess of what you would typically see from a headline. So it's almost as if the news is almost irrelevant in a certain way, which is a little unusual right now. So that's day 5, big picture. So then at 7:18 a.m., we have this ticker UPC that hits the high of day momentum scanner. It hits the scanner. It pops up right here to about 450. It dips down. And this is the due diligence that I did. Okay, number 1, it's a Chinese stock. Number 2, it's got a float of less than 1 million shares. It's a very low float. Now, low float stocks certainly can be more volatile and they can be risky because they can flush just as easily as they can spike. But given the theme right now is on Chinese stocks popping up, foreign listed securities popping up, I felt like this one was the most obvious one that attention would shift to. So it pops up on the scanner, it does a micro pullback, and I'm jumping in right there at the bottom of that micro pullback, right around there, for the break back over $4, and I'm looking for a squeeze back up to 450. We end up getting this squeeze up to 450, up to 5, up to 550, up to 6, up to 650. At that point, I was starting to think about some of the other stocks that had made big moves this morning, like TDIC. This is a stock that we'll get zoomed in on here for a second. So TDIC earlier in the day had a squeeze from $5 up to 15. That's impressive. CRE popped up earlier today. This one put in a squeeze from, let's see, it was about 350 up to $8. So these are the types of moves that you can do really well on, no doubt, if you can get positioned in the right way, if you can get in early and not overstay your welcome. Now, both CRE and TDIC ended up coming back down. So neither of them held up super well over the course of hours of trading. And so this was a concern, but it's also why I wanted to be aggressive at the beginning. So it pops up, it does a micro pullback, and while it's doing the micro pullback, I'm now moving off of the charts and I'm looking at the level 2. The level 2 is our feed of market data where I can see all the buyers and I can see all the sellers. And so it dips down, and when it dips down, I see that there's some buyers on the bid, creating support. Then I see some green going through the time and sales, indicating there's other buyers that are stepping in. I see those as strong indicators of positive sentiment, bullish sentiment. And so then I'm looking for that resolution, that continuation higher. And that's exactly what we got. So on this one here, I was in using my hotkey to buy with basically 95% of my available buying power. So based on my available buying power this morning, which is all the profit from days 1 through 4, I was able to buy 1,289 shares exactly. Now, I didn't type in 1289. I pressed Shift 1, and my order executed using that percentage of my buying power. I walked you guys through this hotkey during episode 1 when I shared with you that I was resetting my account back down to $2,000. So you can go back and rewatch that if you need to brush up on the hotkeys. So as it rallies up, I end up basically holding as long as I can until I started to see a little bit of weakness. And then I just pressed the eject button and I was out, Control Z, exiting the full position. That's it. And I'm out at 584. Why not 595? Why not 575? It was just the moment I saw an exit indicator, which was that the buying paused and there was a little bit of a seller up there on the ask. And I said, all right, I got to get out of this thing. Now, it doesn't mean it's not going to continue higher. It just means that for my small account, that's the goal. Get in, get green, get out. And right now, we have this benefit that we're in such a volatile market. The underlying moves are much bigger than they were when the market was a bit cooler. So instead of getting, 50-cent moves, we're getting $1, $2 a share moves. So I ended up locking up $2,374.47, my best day by far, which brings my account now up to $7,906.88. So the account is now up 295%. I have only taken 6 trades. I'm under trading, and I'm doing this out of a fear of loss. I'm afraid of having a losing trade. And so I'm focusing on the highest quality trades and the type of stocks that I think have the potential to make really big moves. If I focused on stocks that had the potential to go up only 10 or 15 cents, they might go up 8 cents, which isn't really enough for me to lock up profit. Then it rolls over and flushes, and I end up taking a loss. So one of the ways I'm avoiding loss is by having a very high quality standard. And one of the requirements is that I'm looking at a stock and I'm thinking this has the potential to go up 50 cents to $1 a share. And if it doesn't have the potential to go 50 cents to $1 a share right now, I'm not taking it. Now, if the market was colder, I wouldn't have had any of these trades over the last 5 days because we haven't in a colder market seen $1, $2 or $2 a share type of potential. So if the market was cooler, I would have to, essentially accept the lower gains and the slower growth in the account, which I've done in other periods of time. You guys can tune into previous small account challenges that I've done, which were in markets that were a little bit cooler. So this challenge so far is going pretty quickly, going faster than others. If I was day trading, taking like 5, 10, 15 trades in a day, could I grow the account faster? I would certainly subject myself to more losses. I haven't felt that there's 10 plus opportunities for a 50 cent to $1 a share type of move. So maybe, on 10 trades, 7 of them being winners, if I was trading that frequently, my accuracy would go down to 68, 70%. That's where I typically fall. 7 base hit trades of 15, 20 cents each. and then 3 losses of 15 cents each, I guess you'd be talking about $1.40 a share minus 40 cents a share. So maybe $1 a share of profit. And then, and that's over the course of 10 trades with lower accuracy. So, you could end up having the misfortune of a couple bigger losses or, whatever. And then here on this trade, I got $1.84 a share in just one execution. So it's not to say I couldn't do both. I suppose I could, but right now, early in the challenge, it's really important to just have consistent green days, lock them up, and then come back again tomorrow. So tomorrow, I'll have this much more buying power. Now my buying power is coming up towards $8,000. So all of a sudden, I could buy 2,000 shares of a $4 stock. And if that goes up 2 points, I'm going to be up $4,000. And then the account's at 12,000. And then, a $6 stock comes along, I could buy 2,000 shares. If that goes up $3 or $4 a share because we get a big move, then things are really starting to pick up pretty quickly. So, today, just alone, the account is up nearly 50% in one day. I think I finished, it must have been $2,400 today, roughly. So that's what put me at 7,900. So, I'm in a great spot right here today, being up nearly 50% in one day. So those of you guys that want to keep watching this small account challenge and see how quickly I can continue to grow this account, make sure you check out the 2-week trial here at Warrior Trading. We'd love to have you guys join us. It's 2 weeks for $20. It gives you a chance to watch me as I'm trading, both in my big account and my small account. I'm trading both of them, sort of sometimes at the same time, some one and then the other. It depends on the day, depends on the stock. But in any case, you get to watch over my shoulder and you get to see it all. So I hope you guys check out the trial. And I'll remind you, as always, that trading is risky. My results aren't typical, and there's no guarantee you'll find success, whether you trade with me or you learn on your own. So please manage your risk, take it slow, and always practice in a simulator before putting real money on the line. All right, with that, I will see you guys back at it streaming at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning.